how the cultures of the past are systematically suppressing the things that matter the most in this next sector. The most valuable economic things that companies can harness are being suppressed by the cultures of their, what we call the frequency. It's more than the culture.
Yes.
Of their organizations.
So just so I understand, we all have our own individual frequencies, but now you're bringing this into an economical perspective within an organization, a culture. Is there a frequency of the culture? Like a combined, when you bring a group of people together on a team?
There's a frequency of an individual.
Okay.
We're in a room right now there's a resonant frequency of this room.
Yes.
You put a company together, whether it's in an office or on Slack, over time that company will assimilate to a frequency. The world operates at a specific frequency, and so you put a group of people together, they will eventually assimilate to the same frequency.
Gotcha.
So, and the way that it works in organizations is that generally the leader will set the frequency, and then everyone over time will assimilate to it. And so there's an example here. So imagine that you ended up joining a company as a senior manager, right? And before you joined the company, you slept great. You were never stressed. You were very creative. You were just living an enjoyable life, right? And you joined this company because they offered you an extra $50,000 a year. So now you're in this company and you've been there for 6 months, and now you're not sleeping right. You're working all the time. You're super stressed out. You're second guessing yourself. You're not feeling creative. Why is that? Because you've introduced yourself into a place where you are beginning to assimilate to the frequency. Now, frequency is contagious, and this is proven by science as well. It's called nervous system co-regulation. And so there's one, philosophical thing, which is like, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Why is that? It's because their nervous systems are contagious, and their frequency is contagious. The beliefs that they hold, right? Do they need to? Are we in a rush? Are we competing? Like, over time, if the leaders believe that, then you will also believe that, or you will leave.
Yes.
It's like there's no in between. You either assimilate or you say, I do not believe in these things. I must leave.
Right.
And so or you assimilate to it. So nervous system co-regulation is that the nervous systems of people in a physical or digital environment will sync with each other.
Yes.
And so that is one of the most powerful insights for leadership. Because the number one way that you increase the capacity of your team or organization is through the capacity of your own nervous system. And so that becomes, and I do believe that it'll be the number one biometric marker that people use for, it'll be like IQ, like the capacity of your nervous system. It's not, you're not filling out a personality test. It's not subjective at all. It can be physiologically measured. It'll be the equivalent of how people measured IQ 20 years ago.
Well, can we use you as an example of what you've shared with me about these measurements? Because you've talked about like heart rate variability as a measurement here.
Yeah, I think like the coolest thing is that all of this can be measured.
Yes.
Right. And so that there's people think this mystical frequency thing, it's my vibe, it's a subjective like thing. It's like, no, actually, like you can measure this within your nervous system. You can measure this within the frequency distribution of your brain waves. You can measure this as a proxy of this architecture of your sleep, what different stages of sleep you're in. You can measure this in your galvanic skin response, right? So there's a variety of what I'll call proxy measurements that as you increase your frequency, there's correlated increases in these proxy measurements. And over time, there will be a direct measurement of the capacity of your nervous system.
So we've talked about the science behind the frequency error. We've talked about some of the economic impacts. We've talked about the ability to measure this. I'm extremely fascinated from a business and a culture standpoint, like the idea of how the leader and their frequency is going to directly influence that of the team, yet alone the organization, both in a physical space as well as a digital space. Let's come back to the human capacities. Because if we're looking now for the opportunities, and once again, to your point, you can be watching this or listening to this and gain a new perspective, but that's not going to change anything. What are these human capacities that we should be aware of here in this new age of AI?
So
Frequency error.
yeah, we'll go through the 12 in a second. So for the past 10 years, many people have viewed this as emotional intelligence, as this X factor of why do leaders get more. What's this X factor that they have? What are they doing that the other people aren't doing? And it's been clear that emotional intelligence is something that people have pointed to as the reason why, right? And so when you look at emotional intelligence is a cognitive capacity. So it's a skill that you learn combined with behaviors that you take, and it is learned and trained below the nervous system level.
Yes.
And so what I'm providing here is that it's like a much more expanded definition of something that people have been pointing to, but with a lot more precision and depth. And so when we think about the human intelligence capacities, there are 12 of them.
Well, I want to pause before we get into them, because as you're going through these different intelligence, you mentioned EQ, so we have emotional intelligence. You mentioned IQ before as a measurement, intellectual capacity. Another one that I have studied up on is AQ, so adaptability, intelligence. As you're going through this, I can't help but think, as to your point, this is like FQ. It's like frequency intelligence. Is that a fair frame on this?
Frequency is the source of the expression of those capacities.
Okay, so that's once again, I'm wanting to get very, very clear for those watching and listening, but also for myself of, okay, so this is the source. So we're going all the way down to like the base. Like
frequency is the soil.
Okay.
And the expressing as an adaptable human is the branch.
Got it.
And building a thriving organization or family is the fruit.
There
right?
you go.
So
yes.
It is the most foundational thing that a human can train to positively impact everything in their life. And